Ever wondered why some individuals seem to have an insatiable need for admiration and control? This question brings us to the doorstep of a complex personality disorder known as narcissism. At its core, narcissism is defined by traits such as an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. A person with narcissistic tendencies often carries a sense of entitlement, expecting special treatment from those around them. They may believe they are superior, and thus have a right to demand, control, and receive unending admiration. Yet beneath this grandiose exterior often lies a fragile self-esteem, vulnerable to the slightest criticism. When we transition these traits into the realm of relationships, they can give rise to a dynamic that is far from healthy. A narcissist in a relationship may seek to establish a pattern of control and dominance. They might use their partner as a means to validate their self-worth, often at the expense of their partner's emotional well-being. This dominance is not always overt and can sometimes be subtle, making it even more challenging to recognize. It can range from dictating how a partner should behave, dress, or interact with others, to controlling their access to resources or social connections. Empathy, a cornerstone of any healthy relationship, is often conspicuously absent in a narcissist's repertoire. This lack of empathy can further exacerbate the imbalanced power dynamic, as the narcissist is unable to truly understand or value their partner's feelings and needs. In such a relationship, the narcissist's need for constant admiration can become a relentless demand. The partner may find themselves in a cycle of trying to appease the narcissist, only to fall short of the ever-changing and escalating standards. In relationships, this need for control and admiration can lead to a dynamic that is far from healthy. Understanding narcissistic behavior is the first step towards recognizing it and navigating its challenges. It's about shedding light on the hidden mechanisms of control and dominance, breaking them down to foster healthier relationship dynamics. Does society's view on traditional gender roles feed into the narcissistic behavior? The question might be a tough one, but the answer is quite enlightening. Societal expectations of traditional gender roles often play a significant role in fueling the narcissist's demands for submission. When a society subscribes to rigid gender roles, it inadvertently hands over the control to the more dominant partner, often the male in a heterosexual relationship, fostering an environment ripe for narcissistic behaviors. These societal norms can be seen in many aspects of our daily lives. From blockbuster movies showcasing the stoic, controlling male hero, to the countless books and articles advising women on how to be the perfect submissive wife, the message is everywhere. It's as if the world is constantly whispering, "This is how it should be." But here's the catch, folks. This narrative doesn't just affect the individuals involved in the relationship. It seeps into the collective consciousness, influencing how we perceive relationships as a society. It's a ripple effect that perpetuates these harmful dynamics, making it difficult for individuals stuck in these relationships to break free. In many cultures, masculinity is often associated with control, power, and dominance, while femininity is linked with submission, compliance, and nurturing. These stereotypes not only limit individual expression, but also set the stage for power imbalances in relationships, making it easier for a narcissist to assert dominance. Moreover, these cultural influences can shape relationship dynamics in more subtle ways. For instance, a woman might feel obligated to stay in a toxic relationship because of the societal pressure to be a good wife, or the fear of social stigma associated with divorce. On the other hand, a man might feel compelled to exert control in a relationship to live up to the societal expectations of being manly. In the end, it becomes clear that cultural norms and expectations can have a profound impact on the dynamics within a relationship. But remember, folks, while society might have a say, it doesn't get to write the whole script. You have the power to challenge these norms and create healthier relationship dynamics. How does power come into play when dealing with narcissistic behavior? Let's delve into this by analyzing power dynamics and control within narcissistic relationships. Power within these relationships isn't just about physical strength or financial control. Instead, it's an intricate dance of emotional manipulation and psychological dominance that can be far more insidious and damaging. Consider the role of submission in these dynamics. It's not just about obeying or agreeing to every demand of the narcissist. Submission in this context is the relinquishment of personal power and autonomy. It's a subtle and gradual process, often disguised as love or care, where the individual slowly loses their sense of self, their voice, and their ability to make decisions independently. In narcissistic relationships, submission isn't just an act, it's a tool, a strategic instrument used by the narcissist to assert dominance. It's about ensuring that the narcissist's needs, desires, and perspectives are always prioritized, often at the cost of the other individual's well-being. This submission-dominance dynamic creates a power imbalance, where the narcissist holds the reins, and the other person becomes increasingly dependent. The narcissist manipulates this dependency to maintain their control, using guilt, fear, or even affection as tools to keep the other person in check. But remember, power dynamics are not static. They can shift and change. It's crucial to recognize these dynamics to challenge them effectively. Understanding these patterns can help individuals reclaim their power, set boundaries, and seek healthier relationships. It's also important to note that these dynamics are not exclusive to romantic relationships. They can occur in friendships, family relationships, and professional settings. Narcissism knows no boundaries, and its effects can permeate through all aspects of life. In conclusion, power plays a pivotal role in narcissistic relationships. It's not about brute force or overt control, but rather about subtle manipulation and psychological dominance. Submission becomes a tool, a means to an end used by the narcissist to assert their dominance and maintain control. The power dynamics within a relationship can significantly influence the behavior of a narcissist. What happens when love turns into a game of emotional manipulation? Imagine a chessboard where every piece is a pawn in the hands of a narcissistic individual. Emotional manipulation is a crafty game narcissists play, using a variety of tactics to maintain control and dominance. One common technique is gaslighting. This is a psychological ploy where the manipulator makes the other person question their own sanity or perception of reality. They might deny things that have happened, distort facts, or make you feel like you're overreacting. It's like being in a maze where the walls constantly shift, leaving you lost and disoriented. Next, we have the guilt trip. Narcissists have a knack for turning the tables, making you feel guilty for their actions or shortcomings. They play the victim, making you the bad guy. This tactic often leaves the other person feeling obligated to make amends, even when they are not at fault. Another is the silent treatment. By ignoring or withdrawing affection, the narcissist creates a power dynamic where you're left craving their attention and approval. It's a form of emotional blackmail that leaves you feeling anxious and unwanted. Let's not forget about love bombing. This is where the narcissist showers their partner with affection and compliments, only to withdraw them later. It's a push-pull strategy that keeps the partner off balance, constantly seeking the narcissist's approval. Lastly, there's triangulation. The narcissist brings a third party into the relationship dynamic, either to create jealousy or to validate their own perspective. This tactic fuels insecurity and competition, further tilting the scales of power in the narcissist's favor. The psychological impact of these tactics on partners who are expected to submit is profound. It can lead to feelings of worthlessness, anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. An individual caught in this web may find it difficult to trust their own judgment, feel isolated, and struggle with self-esteem. Emotional manipulation can be a powerful tool in the hands of a narcissist, causing significant psychological harm. How much does society's expectation of a good wife contribute to narcissistic behavior? In our exploration of narcissism and its effects on relationships, we cannot overlook the role of societal expectations. Often it is these invisible norms that shape, mold, and sometimes distort our behaviors. In many societies, the traditional role of a wife has been painted as submissive, patient, and nurturing. These expectations, while seemingly benign, can inadvertently contribute to the breeding ground for narcissistic behavior. Consider this. When society conditions women to be submissive, it simultaneously creates a space for dominance. This imbalance of power is a key ingredient in the narcissistic dynamic. By expecting wives to be submissive, Society may unintentionally foster environments where narcissistic individuals can assert control and dominance. Now let's delve into the influence of external pressures on individual relationships. It's no secret that we live in an interconnected world where collective opinion can carry significant weight. The expectation of a good wife being submissive doesn't just exist within the walls of a home. It is reinforced by movies, advertisements, and even casual conversations. These external pressures can seep into our personal relationships, shaping them in ways we may not even be aware of. But it's essential to remember that these pressures and expectations are not the rule, but rather constructs that can change. As societies evolve, so too can these norms. More and more, we see an emphasis on equality, respect, and mutual understanding in relationships. This shift can help dismantle the power dynamics that narcissistic behaviors thrive on. However, change is a process. It's a journey that requires awareness, understanding, and action. By recognizing the influence of societal expectations, we can start to question them, challenge them, and ultimately, reshape them. In conclusion, societal expectations can often shape individual behavior, sometimes leading to unhealthy relationship dynamics. So let's continue to question, to learn, and to grow for the sake of healthier, more balanced relationships.